They say that Rome wasn't built in a day, but it seems that everything was built in the case of Alexander the Great. From being an inexperienced teenager taking the throne to becoming one of the most renowned conquerors in history, he managed to conquer 3 continents before his body gave up at just 32. But how did he do it? Let's find out how Alexander conquered the world before the age of 33. Number 11. The rise of a young leader. When Alexander took the throne, he was only 20 years old. His father, King Philip II of Macedon, had been assassinated by one of his bodyguards, leaving the kingdom without a ruler and Alexander to ascend to the throne. Being so young and inexperienced, many doubted his ability to lead, and some even tried to take advantage of the situation and rebel against him. However, he proved them wrong when he decisively defeated the Theban army led by the famous general Epaminondas. This victory showcased Alexander's skills and established him as a capable ruler. Number 10. A dream of empire. Alexander's dream was to conquer the entire known world. He wanted to follow in the footsteps of his father, who had united Greece under Macedonian rule, and expand their influence beyond the borders of Greece. Despite the vastness of his ambition, he started with small steps, focusing on securing his northern borders and strengthening his kingdom. He knew that a strong foundation was crucial for any empire, and he spent considerable time and resources on building a formidable military force. Alexander's strategic approach and determination laid the groundwork for the future conquests. No. 9. An unstoppable force. The Macedonian army. The key to Alexander's success lay in the strength of his army. Unlike the armies of his time, which were typically composed of citizens who fought part-time, the Macedonian army was a full-time profession. Soldiers were drilled relentlessly, not just in battle tactics, but also in endurance, discipline, and teamwork. Furthermore, they had access to better weapons and armor, which gave them a significant edge on the battlefield. Alexander's genius, however, lay not only in the army's composition, but also in his use of combined arms tactics, where infantry, cavalry, and artillery worked together in perfect harmony. This innovative approach, coupled with the army's sheer size and training, made them an unstoppable force. Number 8. Crossing the Hellespont. With his army prepared, Alexander set his sights on the Persian Empire, which stretched from Greece all the way to India. To reach the Persians, he had to cross the Hellespont, a narrow stretch of water connecting the Aegean and the Sea of Marmara. But crossing this seemingly simple body of water turned into a test of both military skill and logistical prowess. Storms and high winds threatened to derail the operation, forcing Alexander to come up with creative solutions. He organized pontoon bridges, used large vessels as ferries, and even anchored smaller boats together to create makeshift rafts. These efforts allowed him to successfully transport his troops and supplies across the Hellespont, setting the stage for his invasion of Asia Minor. Number 7. The Battle of Granicus River. As Alexander and his army advanced into Asia Minor, they encountered the Persian forces at the Granicus River. This clash marked the beginning of a long and arduous campaign against the mighty Persian Empire. Despite the odds, Alexander's army prevailed. The Macedonian phalanx, with its deep ranks of heavily armed infantry, proved too much for the Persians to handle. Alexander's personal bravery and leadership inspired his troops, while his strategic decisions contributed to the victory. The battle sent shockwaves throughout the Persian Empire, showcasing the might of the Macedonian army and signaling the beginning of the end for the Achaemenid dynasty. 6. The road to Persepolis. After securing his position in Asia Minor, Alexander set his sights on the heartland of the Persian Empire. He led his army on a long and perilous journey through rugged mountains and scorching deserts. Throughout this arduous trek, Alexander displayed remarkable resilience and determination. He faced harsh weather conditions, dwindling supplies, and enemy ambushes, but he never wavered in his pursuit of his goals. Finally, after months of travel, Alexander's army arrived at the opulent city of Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of the Persian Empire. The once proud and seemingly invincible Persians were caught off guard. Number 5. A city of intrigue. Persepolis was not just a military target for Alexander, it was a symbol of the wealth and extravagance of the Persian Empire. It was here that he truly realized the extent of the riches amassed by his enemies. As he explored the city, he marveled at the grandeur of the palaces, the vastness of the treasury, and the opulence of the royal court. But amidst the splendor, Alexander remained focused on his mission. He knew that conquering the Persians would not be solely about claiming their territories, but also about dismantling their political structure and shattering the myth of their invincibility. Number 4. Gaugamela. The decisive battle. The road to Persepolis was not without its challenges. Alexander had to overcome several obstacles and engage in numerous battles to secure his path. One of the most notable encounters was the Battle of Gaugamela, where Alexander faced the full might of the Persian army. The sheer size of the Persian forces was overwhelming, but Alexander's strategic brilliance shone through. He divided his army into smaller units, each with specific objectives, and coordinated their movements to perfection. The Macedonian phalanx held firm against the Persian infantry, while cavalry units struck decisive blows when the moment was right. In the end, Alexander emerged victorious, dealing a devastating blow to the Persian Empire. Number 3. A legacy of tolerance. Despite his military successes, Alexander was not driven solely by a desire for conquest or revenge. He genuinely believed in the superiority of Greek culture and wanted to spread its influence throughout his vast empire. Alexander understood the importance of cultural exchange and actively promoted it during his travels. He encouraged his soldiers to learn from the diverse cultures they encountered, and to adopt the positive aspects of other civilizations. He also made efforts to understand and respect the local customs and traditions of the people he ruled over. Alexander's tolerance and open-mindedness fostered a sense of unity and cooperation among the diverse population of his empire, contributing to its stability and longevity. 2. The Silk Road. One of Alexander's most significant contributions was the establishment of the Silk Road. This extensive network of trade routes connected the East and the West like never before. The Silk Road facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultural practices between distant civilizations. For example, it enabled the flow of silk, spices, and porcelain from the East to reach the Mediterranean, while Greek and Roman goods found their way to Central Asia and China. This unprecedented connectivity stimulated economic growth, enriched the cultures of the regions involved, and fostered diplomatic relations. A short life, a lasting impact. Tragically, Alexander's life was cut short when he died at the age of 32, possibly from malaria or typhoid fever. Despite his untimely demise, his impact on the world was profound. Alexander's empire, though short-lived, left an indelible mark on history. After his death, his empire was divided among his generals, but the seeds he had planted continued to grow. The cultural exchange, economic development, and political ideas he championed outlived his reign, shaping the course of human civilization. Alexander's story serves as a reminder that one person with a vision, determination, and a well-trained army can change the world. We hope you enjoyed this video on how Alexander conquered the world before the age of 33. If you want to know more about Alexander the Great, we recommend watching our previous video on 10 interesting facts about Alexander the Great that you didn't know. Thank you for watching and see you next time.